I'm back. Rodrance for the Black and White Network. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe, ground and pound that like button. And as always, thank you guys and gals for supporting our channel. Let's talk about Home Depot and the BLM. You might be like, what in the hell does one have to do with the other? Well, they had an employee that sued them for the right to wear Black Lives Matter images, propaganda, right, on their person while at the workplace. Well, unfortunately for them, a judge has said, nah, you're not going to be able to do that. Now, look, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I spent 12 years in the corporate world managing, and look, this was not uncommon. Not uncommon to have rules and regulations prohibiting certain things being wore, said, even things being talked about, far as like you weren't allowed to talk about religion on the floor. You weren't allowed to talk about politics. Anything that could spark debate and take away from production. You couldn't wear any distracting clothing, images, low-cut clothing. No pink hair, no purple hair. All of that was sort of standard operating procedure. And I'm going to be real with you here. You know, I'm in Texas. We're at will. You know, if you didn't like that, bye-bye. I mean, plain and simple. If you didn't like that, bye-bye. You know, we might not fire you right on the spot, but we put enough paperwork in your life that, you know, we either applied the pressure and you would straighten up, or, again, I'd apply enough paperwork that I would get you out of the building and not have to pay you unemployment because I covered my I's and dotted my T's. Yeah, I meant to say it like that. But you get the point. Well, let's get to this because a judge has sided with Home Depot. Now, the one thing I do know about Home Depot is they tend to be a more conservative company. They have come out, certain entities involved with Home Depot have come out and supported President Trump in the past. I'm currently building a cabin, myself and my wife. We have bought a great deal of our supplies and materials from Home Depot in just the last, 3, 4, 5 months now. Judge sides with Home Depot after company prevented employees from wearing the Marxist Black Lives Matter of China imagery. Yeah. A judge ruled Friday that a complaint accusing Home Depot of interfering with workers' rights by not allowing them to wear Black Lives Matter messaging should be tossed out. The U.S. National Labor Board's Labor Relations Board General Counsel had claimed the company was violating federal law by preventing staff from wearing Black Lives Matter imagery on their aprons, which administrative law judge Paul Bogus disagreed with. According to Bloomberg, Bogus wrote that Black Lives Matter labels did not possess an objective and sufficiently direct relationship to the terms and conditions of employment. In other words, I'm sure when he sat down to take the job, he signed some paperwork that said, hey, you can't wear anything controversial on the work floor while clocked in, maybe even on the property. And I'm sure Home Depot covered their butts here. Bogus added that Black Lives Matter message, quote, originated and primarily used to address the unjustified killings of black individuals by law enforcement and vigilantes. To the extent the message is being used for reasons beyond that, it operates as a political umbrella for societal concerns and relates to the workplace only in the sense that workplaces are part of society. Rulings passed down by the agency, judges can be appealed to the Labor Board in Washington, D.C., which is controlled by, you guessed it, Socialist Democrats, and moved to federal court from there. Home Depot did not immediately respond. The Labor Board said that Home Depot selectively and disparately enforced its dress code to target BLM imagery. And that's where we're going to lay out. So, as of right now, a judge has said, no, you cannot. It is not your right as an employee to wear BLM imagery on the floor. Now, I'll tell you a story. That entire summer of looting and rioting and violence that we witnessed, over 18 people died. I think like 22 or something like that. $1 to $2 billion worth of damage. And, of course, everything else that's gone on with the BLM. I was in a Walmart, a local rural Walmart, one of the little neighborhood marketplaces, and one of their employees here locally was wearing a Black Lives Matter mask. I almost made it a serious issue, but I didn't. I left the store. But I was shocked that a company like Walmart would have allowed that kind of statement on their floor. Now, you got to imagine that some of their managers, I assume, under the political climate, thought, if I bring this up, I'm liable to get fired. That's where we are. Even though this is probably a violation of policy, to wear this, I'll probably get fired. And that's where we're kind of sort of in bizarro world. All the things that sort of stood went out the window surrounding that one issue. And, of course, you know, if you came out in opposing Black Lives Matter, you were immediately a racist. If a company opposed it, they were immediately a racist company, and they were sort of attacked by the woke mob. We've seen it, standard operating cancellation procedures, right? So, look, I think Home Depot's in the right here. They should be able to tell their employees what they can and cannot wear when they're at the workplace. You know, anything that is, you know, a political statement, and let's be real, BLM was a political statement. It's also a sham. I mean, it was a method to try to raise money, gain money, get funds. Patrice Cullors bought some really nice houses out of it, and we found out that now that the curtain's been peeled back, that a lot of people got money taken from them. You know, in Minneapolis, black people were saying Black Lives Matter hasn't given us a dime, even though our city's been burnt to the ground by Black Lives Matter. And look, if I was an employer, considering how many lawless acts were committed with that imagery on it, considering how many people lost lives, would you allow an employee to wear that on your production floor, in your building, on your property? I certainly wouldn't. I wouldn't want that to be promoted. Now, President Trump talked about labeling Black Lives Matter a domestic terrorist organization, but I don't think he ever actually did it. I know he officially named Antifa that, but I don't think he ever named Black Lives Matter that. And, of course, he was called a racist for labeling Antifa that, and it was in the exact same statement that he labeled the KKK domestic terrorist. Imagine that. Well, Trump's a racist sumbitch from the same statement in which the KKK was named a domestic terrorist organization by said supposed racist president. That's the lunacy that we're in right now. I've got to give Home Depot some credit, though. I got to give them some credit for stepping out there and saying, you know what? We don't want our employees working for us, representing our company, and wearing this kind of propaganda, making these kinds of leftist, socialist political statements on our production floor, in our building. You know, a lot of companies don't have the sack to make this statement in this day and time. So I got to give Home Depot some credit for that. Lowe's, by the way, a lot of people don't know this. Lowe's is a very leftist company, a very pro-Democrat company. A lot of people don't know that shop there. I mean, I see a lot of, you know, I've had to go in there. I've had to get something, you know, if Home Depot didn't have it. But, I mean, it's last resort shit for me to go in there because of the ideals and things that Lowe's will support. I mean, my God, they run commercials wearing their COVID mask in commercials. You get my point. Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. Home Depot took a stand against the BLM. A judge has ruled in their favor for now, but it may go to a larger, higher level that is controlled by socialist Democrats. I think Home Depot is in the right here. You know, at the same time, I'm going to be real. Employees should not be able to wear a MAGA hat or a MAGA smock or apron or shirt on the work in the workplace on the production floor. Shouldn't be allowed to do that, okay? No political statements of any kind. It's fair. You got different people shopping there, and that's the problem. Political statements are put into everything. So, it does go both directions. Only one direction burnt down entire towns and actually killed people, but you get the point. Peace, I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. Link in the description. Use promo code USA First, all one word. USA First, all one word. 25% off now.